Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Casper Network, or Casper the Friendly Ghost. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate that. So let's just dive in and let's talk about Casper. So honestly, she has been holding the levels fairly good. I mean, we're going to be addressing the chart here shortly, but I do have a lot of stuff to talk about in regards to Web3 and stuff like that. But as you guys do see, the trading volume is down. Market cap sitting at about $295.6 million. Now $296.9 million, sorry. And as you guys do see, the price is sitting at about 7 cents. In terms of the overall price chart, so here we have the price chart. Again, that volume is still pretty rough, honestly. We are hugging this sort of support level, if you want to call it that. But I do believe that this will bleed us all the way down to possibly the support levels going as far back as like August, which this would bring us down to about like 6 cents, almost 6.5 cents. It has been a rough, few weeks, if you will. I mean, all the way going back to this high that we hit back in November, it's just been a downward trend, and it's been a massive downward trend. I mean, losing about, we could see here, so it's roughly down about to our current level, 70%. So it has lost about 70% in terms of the price since November. I'm looking forward to seeing this officially start its reversal. Of course, when we are talking about the current market, we have to wait until Bitcoin kind of stabilizes a little bit. Right now, a lot of the market sentiment is a little bit bearish. If we are talking about the Casper Bitcoin price chart, though, we could kind of address that real quick while we are at it. So here we have the Casper Bitcoin price chart. I think that we're supposed to have it here instead. I don't know why it was just kind of hovering there, but here we have it. Let me kind of move this over here. Sorry, there you guys have it. So when we are talking about this, some fib levels to watch for are just this 236, kind of getting back into that momentum. If we are going off of this topping point here in terms of this wave structure that we are kind of in, if you will, this is the current levels that we're actually awaiting for to be addressed. But right now, I'm more so looking at the bigger picture, and that is basically what they are building, the announcements that they have been releasing, and stuff like that. Of course, am I focused on price action? 100%. I'm not going to disregard price action at all. Like I said, on Casper, the price action has been a little bit rough over the last couple weeks, going as far back as like November. So we're looking at like almost 4 months now of just kind of downward trend. But usually when these do break, when we have these days, or I shouldn't say days, but when we have these charts where it's basically in this nice sideways momentum trading pattern, and when I say like sideways trading, I mean we have been trading sideways for a while now, going as far back as pretty much January 22nd. So we have been in this nice solid accumulation. It's at like bottom digit figures here as well. I mean, this is 41 days currently. Do I feel comfortable buying here? I mean, it's not a bad place to buy at all. Depending on how low we do go, I will be loading up a lot on Casper. This is like my #1 holding in my portfolio. It's also the project that I have been talking to you guys about for a very long time in terms of its upside potential. I still believe that it has incredible ROI value behind it as well. And let's actually talk about why. So let's kind of dive in. Enough TA talk. Let's talk about some fundamentals behind Casper. So first and foremost, obviously, I'm going to talk to you guys about the big one here. Star Power today, Wise Key, and Brooke Shields join us at the crossroads of the world at the Nasdaq opening bell to celebrate the unveiling of their industry first NFT from space on the Casper network. And honestly, this is pretty big. I mean, if we're talking about Brooke Shields, 72.9K followers. I know it's not a huge following, but it is a fairly big following in general. And of course, Nasdaq, supporting this. This is something that you should be paying attention to if you guys haven't already. This is incredible, especially from just kind of mainstream media attention, if you will, because this is something that should be I would say this is something to definitely regard in a sense on like really seeing where Casper is, of course, leading the way. I've talked to you guys about those NFTs in space. I want to say going back at least 2 months now. And I definitely do think that WiseKey is doing incredibly well, especially on, Casper. And there's so much more coming to this space, especially for Casper Network. Also, check out this. Blockworks has officially had a sponsored post by Casper. The future is here, and it's pronounced Web3. Here are some of the top strategies to keep yourself or your business updated in 2022. And here are the top strategies to future-proof your career and business in 2022. Talking about the Web3 environment from Casper. Because the majority of NFTs are on the Ethereum blockchain, they're subject to energy and cost structures used on Ethereum, like proof of work. This makes minting NFTs costly and energy inefficient. Immutable software is not a reality. Software is never truly finished. The future still is unwritten, but your history is immutable. Now, here is talking about future-proofing themselves, more so developers and companies within the Web3 scene. Blockchain and simplicity are not, mutually exclusive. The team at Casper has taken the lead on enterprise-grade Web3 development. Working with blockchain databases and proof-of-stake architectures provides a unique perspective that offers curious newcomers entry to this new area of technological innovation. Of course, this is kind of just talking about, get educated by, professionals and stuff like that. But, we do see, of course, some alpha being dropped here, for developers thinking that blockchain isn't for them because they don't want to do DeFi or don't want to run nodes. That's okay. Casper protocol doesn't require that. You could build software with blockchain the way you've always done it. It's not out of your grasp. Our protocol is a really easy stepping stone for you to get started. Web3 is the future of tech, and WebAssembly is an emerging standard. Recognizing this is key to future-proofing your career. Like I said, dropping alpha all day long from Casper's side. I am very excited for Web3. I do think that when we are talking about Web3, green sustainability, stuff like that is all a big aspect here, but also we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg in terms of this market. There's still so much more coming to this space. I really want you all to pay attention to Web3 in general because Casper is a Web3 giant and they truly are focused on enterprise grade solutions within the Web3 area. And like I said, this is sitting at about a $50 billion market cap. This is going to grow astronomically, over the, next few weeks, as well as even the next few years. I mean, at the end of the day, like if we're talking about all-time highs, I think that the Web3 market capitalization could hit this bull run about $250 billion. And it could honestly outstretch even more, but that's basically where my mind is. And if we're talking about like a few years, this is an easy $1 trillion plus market cap for this area alone. I mean, we're talking about Web3 being worth $140 trillion at some point in time. And guys, and that's not my number that I made up. You guys can go look it up. It's absolutely insane in terms of the Web3 predictions for price analysis. It's insane. Also, we do see our congratulations, Casper Network. Welcome, Bing X, to the Casper family. We are very friendly. And guys, if you missed it, this is like a smaller exchange, but they did list Casper. I'm actually looking forward to seeing a lot more tier 1 exchange listings for Casper. I actually want to see a lot more exchange listings in general. Like right now, we are on some interesting overall exchanges. I mean, it's not like the biggest ones. I don't know what just happened, but I did have Casper opened. Let me go to Casper real quick. But we are on some big exchanges, but I would like to see us have more retail demand because we're not on, top tier. Like there's a few here. I mean, like crypto.com and stuff. But if we're talking about like the top tier exchanges, I'd love Binance, Coinbase. Stuff like this is going to be huge in terms of price, action, especially for something as small as Casper right now in terms of its market cap. I mean, this is going to allow it to, really start the price movement upside, as well as allow for a lot more demand and, of course, learning about, Casper. It will also spark the YouTube content sort of a train, if you will, because there's not a lot of YouTubers talking about Casper at all on YouTube. I don't like to consider myself a YouTuber in quotation marks, if you will. But again, I do like to talk to you guys about a lot of these undervalued gems before, of course, they do hit the mainstream, if you will. It's kind of a scary thing to watch my channel continue to grow because I know at some point in time I will basically be, one of those YouTubers that do mention a project and it does get a lot of like kind of spotlight on it. It's kind of the thing that I like my channel to have a little bit of an underground sense to it, just to kind of give you guys some insights before things do start to move, drastically. But of course, that is the price of the game. I will continue to talk to you guys about undervalued gems, but Yeah, when it comes to Casper, I'm very excited for the future of Casper. Here's Medha Parlikar saying, her thoughts on blockchain for enterprise. Of course, here is everyone's talking about blockchain, but what does it really mean to businesses and IT leaders? Casper Labs CTO and co-founder Medha Parlikar. I feel like I'm saying her name wrong all the time, and I really do apologize to her if I am. I don't mean to. I just butcher names all day long. But joins the Innovation Heroes podcast to explain how blockchain is already changing business as we know it. And listen closely to this, guys.
In order to transact value, you need a way to inject trust into the transaction. And right now you have centralized banks that do this for us. We trust banks to store and transact funds. And a public permissionless blockchain replaces this trust.
And that's basically the idea here. I mean, like, we want to have something that is a permissionless blockchain that is basically going to usurp, banks and become the future of a digital, financial system. We're seeing a lot of this being built right now in this market, but when we are talking about a lot of the stuff, in terms of Web3, DeFi, all that kind of stuff, like, it's honestly, I would say things are moving rapidly in the digital financial world, okay? And when we are talking about trusted blockchain networks and just decentralization, stuff like that, I do think that they're onto something here. Like, when we're talking about, banks, storing and transacting funds and stuff like that, we really do look at a public permissionless blockchain area and try to basically replace that entire area of expertise. And I shouldn't even say replace, but kind of innovate further within that area, because the banking scene, the financial markets, the financial systems and stuff like that have not been innovated since like the 1960s. Like, yeah, sure, has technology had upgrades in terms of their frameworks a little bit here and there, but for the most part, they are still very inefficient, and they shouldn't be, especially when we are talking about what we have currently within this market. Like, we have these networks, these payment networks that are absolutely outscaling the legacy networks, and truly, I would say, they're focused on the inefficiencies and trying to make them efficiencies. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for technology that does have the potential to revolutionize areas of expertise that are trillion-dollar plus use cases and market values. And that's exactly what Casper is doing with a lot of these partnerships like WiseKey, IPWe. A lot of their partnerships are small, but they're huge in terms of their, market value and, where they are really kind of trying to focus on, especially in their use cases. But I'm very excited for the future of Casper. I think that we are holding these levels very strongly. I would hope for us to hold this almost 7-cent zone. If we do break below it, like I said, we will be targeting some lower lows down here at about like 5.5 cents to possibly even 5 cents exact. So I am watching the price action unfold very, very closely. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.